What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We're jumping back in with the 2019 career mode. This time we're around the French Grand Prix Circuit de Castellet. It's going to be difficult. This is probably one of my weakest tracks on all the F1 games. I really don't get on well with this circuit. I just seem to struggle. I'm not exactly sure why. I just haven't had the time to learn, the braking zone, the racing lines as I have with, every other track. It's just one of those things I just can't get to grips with it. It's similar to Baku in a sense. I feel like I'm a little bit better around Baku, but around here, not quite so much. But Q1, our first run going into, try and make it into the Q2 at least. Actually, not too bad, we make it through. Not too many surprises in the bottom few. Obviously, our teammate once again doing an absolutely awful job. But later on, when we get the patch, it'll be interesting to see how we do. With Q2, another solid performance there on the medium tyre that time. It wasn't quite good enough to get us through, unfortunately. P12, but we do go again on the soft compound tyre, and it's going to push us up. We got a purple sector 1, which is obviously fantastic, and they managed to make it into P8, which is just about enough to get us through into the final shootout for pole position, although we've got no chance of actually getting pole position this race. But we'll do the best we can and try and get as high up the grid as possible. You can see we're all over the road in this last sector. I had no grip on these tyres, whether that's because of the weather and the ever-changing conditions. It's not knowing it was sunny now. And you can see we're going to come across the line P6 for momentarily, drop down to P7, end up dropping down to P9 for our second run. And we do come across, only improving by one position into P8, and then once again down straight away into P9. So it's almost like we're destined to start P9, but our final time wasn't good enough. We couldn't improve, and we do get walloped down into P9. I feel like the game kind of wanted us in P9, judging by that. We can see Charles Leclerc in P10. The reason for that, I actually looked on the race director, and he had an invalidated lap time, which was a bit odd to say the least. But everything happens for a reason, I guess. Team at Mard TV, they're doing the interviews instead of Alex this time. But you can see we've got a nice little flyover from the Air Force, which is always nice to see. Mercedes 1-2, as you would expect in this career mode. Nothing really changing there. Always staying the same. We've got the Haas car of Romain Grosjean there, all parked up as he gets ready for the race. You've got Ben there changing out of his suit into some overalls for, I believe, the media or pit lane crew people, but nonetheless that was a really quick outfit change, so fair play to him. We'll look at the grid and see how the rest of the field lines up. Obviously we know it's Mercedes 1-2, but not to our surprise, Bottas is actually on pole position, which makes a nice change. Usually it's the other way around, but Vettel in P3, Verstappen P4, we've got a feeling Gasly's P5, indeed he is. Romain Grosjean P6, which is a fantastic job from him. Ourselves move up one position due to a grid penalty, and it's very weird that you don't find these out beforehand or get emails about who's got a grid penalty and whatever. But Lucas Faber took the grid drop all the way down to 18th, bless him. So he's going to be struggling in this race. You can see the strategy is a bit of a weird one. Some of the strategies do come out really weird, especially middle half of the season. They've come out really, really odd. But we'll put that behind us, ready for the 5 lights to go out, and they go out right about now. And you can see we get off to a good start initially. We bogged down a little bit off the line. Charles Leclerc absolutely steamed past. We've got Hulkenberg trying to go down him inside. We've got Perez not too far away, as well as Stroll. We go all the way around the outside of Hulkenberg if possible to manage to retain that position. Bang tyres just a little bit, not making any problems for ourselves. You can see Leclerc is already looking a little bit feisty for the cars up his head. We go incredibly deep as we get a little tap on the rear, I believe. So we go across the AstroTurf, not gaining an advantage, just making sure we actually can make the corner and not cause a massive pile-up. You can see Leclerc is in our sights coming down the back straight, and if we could turn everything up to 11, which we're going to do indeed, we're going to try and see if we can get past him. We've got Hulkenberg not too far away again, so we've got to try and make sure we can defend from him, as Leclerc looks pretty racy here, trying to make a move on the Renault. You can see he's actually compromised because of the car ahead. We're going to go all the way around to the outside of Hulkenberg, which turns to the inside, and we're going to squeeze him out on the exit, and we get a very, very nice overtake there. We're moving on to lap 2. You can see we've got Grosjean in our sights as well. He's a little bit closer than Ricciardo was, so we might be able to actually mount a challenge coming into the chicane. So we're going to close really, really fast on this Haas. He's going to move to the inside to defend, but that's fine. We'll go around the outside like we did to Ricciardo. We're side by side coming into this corner, so it should be a done deal here. Going all the way around, turns to the inside once again, and it's another position made up for ourselves. But moving a little bit further onto lap 5, starting lap 6. You can see we're coming to the pit lane with a few cars especially the front runners. You know, we need to get a fresh set of new boots. And we're starting to struggle just a little bit on the end of that stint. We're going to have to see where we come out in relevance to, I believe, the Renault. He's going to be our main competitor. And unfortunately, actually did jump us in the pit lane. So we've got to re-overtake him coming down the back straight. Now, we've got really good straight line speed at this circle. We haven't got a lot of downforce, which is hurting us in the last sector because they are very OP in the last sector for sure. A lot of people have been saying it all over Twitter. And it's just one of those things. There's certain tracks and certain corners and sectors, they are just ridiculous. They are absolutely crazy and how fast they are. We get the move done, but there's a chance he could come back at us here. So we're going to go all the way to the left-hand side to try and block him. He's going to go to the left-hand side to try and force the issue round or out. So we're going to go side by side through that very fast right-hander, coming into this very long sweeping right-hander. We squeeze him out just a little bit, maybe a bit aggressive, but we do get the position and we manage to hold him off and actually get that job done, which is handy for us. But moving on to the start of lap 13, you can see a few cars are coming out of the pit lane and see where we actually do filter out back into P7, which is where we want to be, where we should be realistically compared to everything else that has gone on. But we're making a second pit stop on, I believe, lap 16, and we actually ended up having a front wing change. Now, to me, I had no idea I had damage. Didn't feel like I had damage. The car was fine. To my surprise, they come out with a front wing, so we lose position to Weber. And then once again the Renault goes past, and we've lost a lot of time. We've lost about 5-6 seconds to the rest of the field, which is so frustrating. You know, we worked so hard to get that P7 back, passing Ricciardo, and it's just been thrown away. I honestly have no idea where I got the damage from. Our teammate ends up retiring, which brings out our VSC, which could have been handy if we, you know, if he retired a little bit sooner. We could have maybe gained some advantage, but we're coming up to the back of Robert Kubica in P17. He's going to go to the left-hand side. We made that position up one more position, and Lucas Weber is now just ahead of us. You can see on the mini-map how far ahead that Renault is in the middle of the pack, which is ahead of a lot of people, which is where we should have been. But Pierre Gasly has got a mechanical issue by the looks of it. He's been slowing down. We've been catching him slowly throughout the rest of this race. We're fighting for P15. Not P5, P15. That's how low down we are. We're really struggling in this race. You know, it was looking good. Even on the minimap, you can see how tight it is in that midfield. We should have been in the middle of that and, you know, started fighting, and we should be ahead of them. We really should. We should be fighting for P6, not for P15. But coming down the back straight, it's not going to be much of a contest. You can see how slow Gasly is in a straight line. We're going to go all the way around the outside of him. Slam dunk, easy peasy move there. It was so frustrating. I have no idea where that front wing damage came from, and it's just, by that point, you know, you can't change it. You can't tell them no, don't change it. But Gasly looks like he might actually come back at us here if we're not careful. You can see he's closing. He's going to try and go around the outside here, similar to what Ricciardo did, and he's actually going to get the job done for momentarily lapse. Going to dive to the inside, and if we're not careful, we're going to bang tyres with Pierre Gasly, just try to get past the positioning, seek warning for collision, because indeed we bang tyres, and again, side by side still. And Gasly is really putting up a massive fight here, which is, you know, it's good to see. We're so close to going into the back of him. He had to touch on the brakes just a little bit more than we normally would going into that corner. But you can see coming into the final few corners, Gasly's got the measure of us at the moment, which is quite surprising. But we should have him down the pitch straight, which should be a slam dunk move for us. We'll have DRS and obviously turning up everything up to 11. And we're going to cruise up to the back of Pierre, go to the left-hand side, take that position. And that'll be that. Thank you very much, Pierre. And we actually got, I believe that's Russell trying to go down our inside, actually, which is quite interesting, to say the least. You know, didn't expect him to come out of there and actually come for us there, but quite a bit of a surprise. We're going to come across the line for P15. We jerk on the steering wheel out of pure frustration. It was such a poor result compared to where our pace actually was. You know, we should have been in P6, and oh, it's just disappointing. Like, it was really odd that, you know, maybe I had picked up an accumulative amount that the game thinks, you know what, we need to bit him and change it. But oh, definitely frustrating. But Valtteri Bottas, on the other hand, has won the French Grand Prix, and similar to, like I said, in Canada, ignore the red halo on the car. That won't be there much longer, and I believe it isn't in there for the next video. But super frustrating stuff. Verstappen not on the podium either, but you can see coming onto the podium, Valtteri Bottas, followed by Nico Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg got a podium at the French Grand Prix. If this isn't fixed, I don't know what is. It's absolutely mental. In theory, you know, we could have got P3, which is unrealistic, but, you know, he did the one stop. The one stop worked for him. Quite a lot of the races, one stops are actually really OP, and actually ended up getting really good results. So Well, for the AI at least, it's really difficult to do one stop in some races here on the 50%. But yeah, Valtteri Bottas wins that race ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, Vettel, Verstappen, Leclerc. Yeah, again, it was a very, very weird race for sure. But you know, looking at the times, if we came out 5 seconds earlier, you know, we'd have been right up there fighting for those battles. But just look forward to the next Grand Prix, which will be Austria, which is my favourite track. I'm really looking forward to it. I believe I've adjusted it in a way where, you know, we can actually have fresh components for the race, minus the IC. Everything else will be brand new. But looking at the contract negotiations, our favourite part of this career mode. I love doing these, and we're going to try and get the best that we possibly can on pretty much everything, really. Just get the best out of our contract as possible. You know, we need to get the best way to get as many R&D points, and you know, pit stop efficiency is always helpful. You know, it's good for us, and obviously be good during the races to have a quick pit stop, just in those high tense pressure moments. You know, you can't go really wrong with that. But simultaneous development, I'm not that bothered about. We don't really have the money to be able to doing that all the time. Upgrade speed is obviously always good, but looking at this, we're going to try and fiddle around with it. You can see our value is pretty high up, so we're going to go all the way on match bonus. Upgrade speed as well, see if we can try and get that, maybe highball it just to see how it works. But I'm going to attempt that, and you can see it's very, very close. So what we can do is change that to level 2 and see if that actually works, and maybe have a look. There's nothing else we can really do. Let's attempt that and see what we can do. Move that up to level 3, and it moved the slightest amount. So what we're going to do is just move that down to level 1, and that should be it for us. We change it to hard because you get more points if you do it hard, but move it down and almost perfect. So happy days. You know, we got level 3 on 3 out of 4 of them, which is handy. We got 1 on the simultaneous development, but like I said before, that really doesn't bother me in terms of, you know, what we actually need. But looking at our rival Lucas Faber, we've smashed it, and yeah, Austria is going to be a very interesting race for sure. I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully could get the best finish of the season, depending on everyone's wear on their ICEs and stuff like that. But looking at the aerodynamics, you can see we've got really bad reputation with them. Not really anything bad with that. Our ICE durability is really poor. We should really upgrade that, but just looking at it, it's a bit iffy to say the least. You know, I'm not really looking to spend that amount of money on a team that hopefully I won't be with for, you know, the foreseeable future. But I think aero is going to be one of the most important things to upgrade. But you know, this isn't going to mean much when the patch comes in, which will be on the Silverstone Grand Prix. It'll be the first race of the patch. Just recorded that, and believe me, it's so much fun. But that's been it for me, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please slap a like and subscribe for more content. Until then, guys, bye bye.